Greetings. This is Arvette McLean of Speak, the Universe Listens.
We cherish that. We love that particular piece of it because
teach people like, hey, it's okay, change.
New ways to view age-old challenges. Change your thoughts, change your life. Step into the bigness of you.
How you think you are. 27 days to radically shift your thinking and upgrade your life. More wealth, health, love, and joy.
Your course is the first course that I don't mind repeating again and again and again.
Click on the link for the special offer or visit the website at www.arvettemclean.com. Greetings and welcome to Speak, the Universe Listens. And today's topic is the habit of negative thinking. And I have Scott joining me today. Hey, Scott.
hello, everybody. Hey, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing wonderfully.
Good, good. So the habit of negative thinking. What do you have to say about that?
Negative thoughts, negative thinking, that just plagues so many of us. And I still find that I'm in that place from time to time now. You know, with negative thoughts, it's almost the easy way to fall into that particular place because I think just over time in our experiences, we get trained to think more on the negative. You know, we turn on the news, we see negative things on the news. We talk to, friends and acquaintances, and they're talking about negative things that are going on. So often we might talk to somebody about maybe something we've got going on negative, and they talk about how much extra stuff they got going on negative, and so they're going to one up you on this thing. And so we get in that habit, that place where it's the common thing, the easy thing to do is to think about negative thoughts.
Yeah.
And that's just on our minds just about all the time.
Yeah. And I would think that that would just come from the need to protect yourself. So, because I know that I can walk into mostly any environment, and the first thing I do is pick out everything that's wrong with it. But I think that comes from feeling like you have to protect your physical self, and so it's like you're always on the lookout for what's wrong, and you want to kind of catch it before it's really wrong. And so it's like we have this pattern in our head of looking for all the things that's wrong in our environments, and then we just like let it sit there and just repeat itself over and over and over again.
I hadn't really thought about it from that perspective, but this is, as you're saying, that is there for that protection. That just is sparking a whole lot of other thoughts. And so, I'm gonna venture off just a little bit. Hopefully y'all don't mind. I'm gonna venture off a little bit, but and it's interesting that protection really, in a matter of speaking, is a way of is a form of love for ourselves. And I do believe that all things we do is for our betterment on some level. And so we always are thinking, I'm gonna do this for to help protect myself, to help love myself, to help get me to that place of peace, that place of love, that type of thing. And so as you're talking about, our negative thoughts are coming from that place of protection. I mean, it's stemming from the thought of looking for love in the wrong place, in a matter of speaking. And and I think we do that so often. It's like, all right, love is there, love is there, love is there, love is there, and we forget that where it really is it here? Where it really is in within ourselves. So yeah, so I just hadn't thought about it from that perspective before. So I'm loving that right now. So so if I get a little giddy, a little start to going off a little bit today, just bear with me, everybody. Just bear with me. It's for that place of protection. So yeah, I'm gonna have to play around with that one a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, the whole thing, like while we judge, like we tend to be very, very judgmental in all of our thoughts. Everything we do every day, we're in a place of judging, and we don't realize it because we're just so used to doing it. And we would even venture off to say, I'm not a judgmental person, but yeah, and still that's what we do all day, every day. But we often, I think, confuse having discernment from judging things as right and wrong. And all of that goes back to, in a nutshell, it all goes back to us not really fully embracing who we really are and who everyone around us really is. And so when we are in a state of judgment and when we feeling like we have to protect ourselves from others, it's because we don't realize that we're all connected to the same source. And we don't have to protect ourselves from others because others are us. And so, but whatever it is that we're putting our attention on, we're going to attract, we're going to create more of that. So if we're putting our attention on all the reasons why we have to protect ourselves, then we're going to create that in our lives. And so rather than putting our attention on all the reasons why we have to protect ourselves and all the bad things that we see in the world, if we can shift our focus to the things that we would love, the things that we already love, and the things that we would love to see more of, put our attention on those things, then we will get more of those things. Because it's just as many things that we could judge as good in the world as things we could judge as bad in the world. And so it's just a matter of where you putting your attention.
Yeah. I was reading in A Course in Miracles the other day, and it says in there that to defend is to attack. And, I had to give that some thought a little bit. To defend is to attack. And so when you're defending yourself, you're thinking that there's something attacking you. And in that thought pattern itself, you're bringing to you stuff that's going to attack you. You begin to attack other things, which again is because there's only one of us. And so as we're attacking other things, we're attacking ourselves. We're putting ourselves into that place where we're in that fight or flight type of energy. We're putting ourselves in that place where we're seeing all the just only the negative stuff that's out there. When we're putting that defense in place, it is attacking us on the highest level. It's attacking ourselves, not just attacking somebody else that's out there. And so I'm hearing you say the same thing, just different words right now. So we want to get out of that place of trying to defend ourselves and get back into that place of focusing our energy on that which we choose to experience. And when we do that, when we start looking at the peaceful things, looking at the loving things, looking at the hopeful things, looking at the things that are that we could dream of, we start looking at those types of things. We start bringing more of that into our awareness. We start bringing more of that into our experience. And we start just living from a place of joy more often, more completely. Did I sum that up a little bit too fast?
I feel like that's what I did too. I put it all together in a nutshell because it's a lot, and at the same time it's a little, because the whole thing, to make it simple, is take your mind off of what you don't want, put your mind on what you do want. So that's it, for real.
That's it. That's it. It's that simple. Anytime you catch yourself thinking about something that you don't want, change your thoughts.
Yeah.
Just change it. Don't beat yourself up. Don't do any of that. I could have had a V8. You don't do all that type of stuff. You just simply change your thoughts. Okay, thank you for sharing. Move your thoughts to that which you choose to experience. It's that simple.
Yes. And it is that simple. And I know people like me need the backstory to it. Like, why would that work? And is that true? Because I had an experience one time. When I lived in Barbados, there was this person I had met on a cliff one day, and we just sat out on the cliff probably for like 45 minutes, just not even talking. But it was kind of like a weird experience. Like, something about it felt weird, but I didn't feel danger. And so I moved my body to another location, just a little ways away from the person. And so when I turned around, the person was standing like right behind me. And I was just like, oh, and so I was like, let me hurry up and get out of here, right? And so I ran home, and I told my husband, and my husband's like, what? So he's like furious, right? So he runs, he goes back, like, show me who this person is or whatever, because he's ready to, beat somebody up.
And this person didn't touch you at all, right? He was just standing there?
He was standing there, but he was standing like right on me.
Okay, all right.
And so, yeah, way too close for comfort or whatever. And so, anyway, my husband then kind of, was upset with me. Like, why would you be down there with this person for so long? Like, anything could have happened. And so, like, why didn't you realize you were in danger? And so once he really put that in my head, like, oh, I was in danger? Like, what? I was in danger? So then I started feeling fear. And so then every time I saw this person, now I'm all in alarm, right? I'm like fearful. So now I'm running from this person. And now this person is chasing me. So anyway, long story short, he became my stalker. He literally stalked me. And like every day I would be petrified and just terrified, like, oh my God, like this person. And so he's just in my head all the time because I'm literally in a place of just real fear. And eventually I ended up having to move back to Richmond because I was so afraid of this person or whatever. So that's what caused me to come back to Richmond or to Virginia. And so, but like really processing all of that happened, no matter how I slice it at this point in my life and at that point in my life, I feel like the best thing for me to do was to get the heck out of Dodge, right? To get away from this person. However, I keep thinking like, we were out there by ourselves for like 45 minutes. He didn't do anything because I was in a space of total peace and love and joy. And what he said to me when he was standing up on me like this, and I was like, woo! And then I laughed. What he said was like, no, I just wanted to be close to you or whatever. And I was like, what if that was true? Like, what if he was just feeling my energy and he just wanted to be close to me, right? Like, what if that was true or whatever? But I'm digressing. But basically what I'm saying is it's hard to know if these principles work, right? It's hard to know, like, if I was just only offering love to him, would it be impossible for him to harm me? And so that's that question mark. And that's why I think we will always, not always, but hopefully some of us will, I guess, elevate to the point where we know that when we're offering a pure vibration of love, that it would be impossible for anyone else to hurt you. Yeah, I'm gonna put a pause right there.
And I believe that to be true. And just like you were saying, you were there feeling just love. You were in peace. You were in love, sitting there on the cliff. He was there for 45 minutes, and there was nothing that he did to you. He didn't, whether he thought about it or not, you don't know. We have no idea what was in his mind. But if his intention was really to do something to you, and if he could have done something to you, 45 minutes gave him plenty of time to do it. Yet he didn't do anything. And I believe that's because of that love, that energy that you were feeling. I know I shared this story, and I don't remember the guy's name, unfortunately, but just way back in time, there was this guy that was in the woods. He killed a whole lot of people, and that was where he would find his high. That was where he would get his energy from. And I can't remember if it was tongues or ears or whatever that he would put on a necklace. And so he had 99 of them, because he had 99 deaths that he created, and he was excited to get his 100. And he was just like, the next person I see, I'm taking him out. I'm taking him out. He was excited, all hyped up. You hear somebody coming along, so he's hiding behind the tree. And this person comes up, he jumps out from behind the tree, thinking, all right, that's my 100th person. And he drops down to his knees, and it's just awe and amazement. And it was Buddha that was the person that walked up to him. And what he said was that at this point, he got this energy that was so much higher, so much greater than what he would have experienced by getting his 100th kill. And so that high level of energy is what he was searching for. It's what he was aiming for. It was that love that as you talked about before, we have these negative thoughts from that place of protection, that place of searching for that love. And so we do these negative things searching for that love. This guy found this higher level of love from somebody that was being in this place of peace, somebody that was radiating his love. It was a higher level than anything he's been able to experience himself. And so at that point, he became one of Buddha's strongest followers, most devoted followers at that point, because he knew now that there was something greater than what he's ever experienced before. He knew then that there was something that he could begin to dream about that was on a whole nother level. He didn't know how to get there, but he knew that that person knew how to get there. And he wanted that person to show him how that he can accomplish that for himself. Sometimes that's what it takes. We might not know how to get to a certain place. We might not know how to reach this certain dream, but then we go out and we meet an Arvet sitting out on the cliff. And it's like, ooh, that energy, I want more of that energy. That is such a higher energy than what I've been experiencing before. I want more of that. I want to get into that space. I want to get into a place where I can begin to experience that energy. Now imagine right now that some of the viewers that are on this, that's watching this right now, are also feeling some of the energy and love that you're radiating, because you just always do of it. I mean, I can always just feel it. It's even on a Zoom like this, and we're 100 miles apart or something right now, but I can still feel your energy just even thinking of you. And I imagine that some of the viewers right now can pick up on that as well, and they're feeling that energy. They're feeling the energy, not just of you, but of us, of our connectivity together, of the other viewers that are watching this information together. All of that is radiating together. And so some viewers are now watching this and they're saying, you know what? I don't know what it is about this, but I just have to continue to watch. I'm drawn to it. I got to watch more of it. I got to feel more of it. I want to be closer to this energy. And, and they begin to understand that it's something greater than what they've experienced before, something greater than that fear, those negative thoughts, that protective energy. There's something else out there where they can find a higher level of joy, a higher level of peace, a more connectivity to the universe and to all that is.
Wow, well said, Scott. Yeah. And I was thinking about, this actually is a book. I don't think you gave it to me. I think your wife gave it to me. I think it was called Where Angels Walk. And
Yes.
it's just like a collection of stories where people have reported encounters that they've had with angels. And there were quite a few stories in there where people were in what would be considered dangerous situations. And they were just able to call upon God or whoever, they prayed for, their higher power. They were able to call upon the source, and an angel appeared and just literally walked them through this situation. Like, they could not be harmed in this presence. And of course, we all know the quote from the Bible, though I walk through the shadow of death, I fear no evil. And so there, I do believe, I can't say that I'm in that space. I don't know, right? But I know at the time, when I was in Barbados and I overcame with fear, I wasn't in that space, so I took myself out of that space. But I believe there is a space where you don't have to fear for your physical safety. So we can raise our vibration to that level where we don't have to be afraid. But also there are just other, like the habit of negative thinking, because I think we started talking about protecting our bodies, our physical self. But I think the negative thoughts that we have on a regular basis every day could be something as small as, why does he never put his shoes away? Why does this house always look like that? It can be something as small as that. And those negative thoughts actually also wreak havoc on our physical body because once we get ingrained and that's all we're thinking, it really affects, we talked about this before, it affects our immune system and it causes our bodies to break down. And so basically, the negative thinking is like, it is a habit. We've gone down that route so many times. It's like as soon as certain things happen, you just automatically go in that direction in your thinking. And so what we want to do is start changing the direction. So instead of when it automatically goes there, you're like, whoop, I don't want to go there, and just replace it with something different. And just keep doing that. And the more you keep replacing it with something different, when you start having that thought, it's going to take that curve instead of going this way. And eventually that negative route will just disintegrate, and you'll just have a more positive rut. And so it takes practice, though. It takes practice of you hear yourself thinking that crazy thought, which, like I said, a lot of times we don't even realize it because we're so used to thinking it. But as soon as you realize and try to make yourself aware of what you're thinking, then you just replace it with something that you would love much more.
Yeah. And I think it's, we become addicted to those negative thoughts. And so sometimes it's a little challenging to get out of that habit because it's just, we want that chemical makeup. We want that energy coming into us. And so it can become challenging. And sometimes it's like, you replace the thought, then you got to replace it again, then you got to replace it again, then you got to replace it. And so it's a constant effort at the beginning, especially, to consistently get back into the nail so that you can have that positive thought, have that loving thought, having that peaceful thought, that joyful thought sitting there with you. And, like I say, sometimes it's just a consistent piece. It's like this, sitting there in 2 minutes, you had to correct your thinking about 100 times. But what happens over time, the more you do it, the more it becomes just automatic. And that negative thought, as you were saying, starts to dissipate. It starts to subsiding after a while. And that positive thought is what we begin to stick with just more and more and more. And we can stay with it longer and stay with it longer and stay with it even longer as time progresses on. It is definitely worth the effort. Definitely worth the effort just to be able to start waking up in that place where you're peaceful every day, to be able to wake up and you're feeling love, feeling joy, compared to, another day, I don't want to deal with, to be able to wake up and to know that you're going to have a great day ahead of you. It is so worth it. It's so worth the effort at the beginning that it takes to get into the nail, to step away from your past, to step away from all those things that you felt that have been holding you back in the past.
Yeah. And, it's easy to do. If you can hear that negative thought and you can bring yourself to the present and just, take some calming breaths and, whatever words you have to say to yourself, whether it's like, okay, I know this is all happening for my good. I don't know why, but it's all happening for my good, or I know something great is going to come out of this, or you know, even if it, one thing, a lot of times I'm always thinking like, oh, I don't see where anything good came out of that, right? But you don't think about maybe the good came for the other person, and it's okay to give gifts to the other person.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. But in the long run, you know, it's all really for your benefit. Everything is for your benefit, whether we can recognize it or not. But at any rate, the more you can just stop in the moment, maybe take some common breaths, maybe, you know, remind yourself that it's happening for your benefit. Remind yourself that you are connected to the source of all that is, and so is that other person.
Yeah.
The easier it is to just come back to center and kind of let it go, or just change your thought to something different. And like Scott said, breaking that habit is so important, because not only does it change things in the moment, but your thoughts create your reality. So the things that you're thinking today is going to reproduce itself in the future. And so if you're you're having all these negative thoughts, then you're just you're bringing your past to your future. And you want to start being in control of what you're bringing into your future. So you want to bring in the stuff that you want, the stuff that you would love, the stuff that brings you joy. So then you want to replace that negative thought with something that you want to create in the future.
No, but one thought just kind of popped into my mind just now, that I just want to kind of share. I know I've talked to some people over the years that say, well, I tried that before. I tried that, and then this happened, and then that happened, whatever. And they talk about these negative things that happened while they were in the midst of having these positive thoughts. And I remember one time reading in when you're having these negative thoughts, it's almost like you're on a treadmill and you spilt water down on the treadmill. And so you change your thoughts to something positive. And so you're on the treadmill, that water now goes behind you and it comes back up in front of you again. And so you have to deal with it sometimes one more time. And each time it comes back up, it's a little bit less water, it's a little drier. And so that water is smaller and smaller and smaller, but it still kind of comes back up because this is something that you've created already. And so as you're having these positive thoughts, continue with the positive thoughts. Know that that water, that negative thought is going to get behind you again, and it might come back up again, but it's going to be drier, it's going to be smaller, it's going to be less impactful. But know that it's a potential that it may come back up. Keep your thoughts positive, and eventually the negative just goes away completely.
I like that. We can end with that story. So breaking the habit of negative thoughts really boils down to just awareness, being aware of what you're thinking, and then whatever method it takes to change the thought. Think about something different if you have to, but just think about what it is you want and not what you don't want. So I think that wraps us up, Scott.
It does. Beautiful.
Yes, I enjoy talking to you as always. And I also enjoy talking to everyone in the audience who's listening today. And I look forward to chatting with you again soon. So until next time, this is Arvette and Scott.
All right. Now have a great day. Enjoy.